Hello everyone, JG here. Welcome to part 22 of the Blizzard Audiobook series. If you'd like to follow along, there's a link to Blizzard in the description. All that being said, let's get started. Act 21. The Corrupted World. True Freedom. Karol and Kitsuneko enter the throne room. It was empty. Not a single soul or shade was visible. The square-shaped throne room was ginormous with enough room to fit someone 10 times Drac in size. The floor had a giant white circle marking on the floor with pinkish red markings and a neat pattern. The rest of the floor was also the same pink-red. Above the circular marking that covered most of the throne room, there was an opening in the roof leading up to the sky, pitch black, no stars. There was also 4 white pillars on each side of the throne room, all reaching up to the roof. The purple throne itself was big enough to fit a dragon. "Where is Tracton?" Karol asked nervously. Suddenly, Karol felt a great thump. All the red on the ground turned dark purple. Another thump. Something started to come out of the middle of the throne room. It looked like a purple shade, but much more menacing. Karol's heart stopped. He remembered what he told Shadow. Then this strange creature appeared in front of me. It looked like it was made of black and purple smoke in the shape of a person. The only part of its face that was visible was its eyes, and they glowed dark purple. It had a crown, a cape, and a scepter, all as part of its body, if it had a body at all. It was the creature who first appeared to Karol as a child and gave him the black eyes. That creature was Tracton's alternate form. Karol was trembling with fear, but Kitsuneko were bringing him calm. "Do not fear, my child," she said. "Remember, I will always be with you." Tracton was now fully emerged from the floor, looking just as hideous now as when he appeared to Karol for the first time. "Hello, my old friends." Karol, without warning, formed his signature ice draggers and leaped at Tracton. He vanished into a cloud of smoke and appeared next to Karol. He struck him with his staff, and Karol fell to the ground, breathless. But Karol got up quickly and transformed the floor into his ice arena. Before Karol could create his own spikes, however, Tracton raised up his staff and smashed all the ice in a single blow, cutting Karol with his own ice. Tracton then teleported Karol and stabilized the hammer with his wicked powers. He swung it at Karol, but the fox, being trained by the ultimate life form, was able to dodge all of his attacks. Then Karol formed his ball of mist and threw it onto the ground, sending Tracton away from him in caution of getting damaged, and Karol managed to recover some of his strength. When all the mist was gone, Tracton teleported over to Karol, formed a knife with his own hand, and stabbed him in the chest. No blood was spilled though, for this was not Karol's real body, and the corrupted powers could only take someone's soul and not kill, but Karol felt the wind knocked out of him, and he was very anxious. He knew he would lose for sure as he crawled on the ground, gasping for air. Meanwhile, in the real world, Esther and Rex arrived back at the cave. "Do you still have the crystal?" Rex asked as they got out of the jet. Esther reached into her pocket and grabbed the crystal. Somehow it was glowing with a blinding light, unlike anything like it was back in the ocean. "Whoa," Esther explained as she shut her eyes to put it back in her pocket. "That is way brighter than it was before." "Yeah," Rex replied. "I wonder if that means anything." The two of them then entered the cave and saw Karol. He appeared to be still unconscious, but now he was groaning in pain and gasping for air. They were both in shock. "Karol?" Rex shouted as he ran over to his stony bed. "What's wrong? I thought you'd be safe here." Esther quickly followed after him. "No," she said. "He is safe, but this is something mental." "Maybe the crystal's meant to help with this," Rex asked. "But how?" Esther asked him and herself. Rex then felt Karol's forehead. It was burning hot. "He appears to have a bad fever." Esther was looking at Karol to see if she could find any way the crystal could help him. Then she saw the palm of his right hand, the palm that shot mist around himself, the palm that gave her a pillow, the palm that helped her up when he trained her. Red lightning was now shooting around the center of it. "I wonder," Esther said as she got up and walked toward the palm of his hand. Rex looked at her. Esther grabbed Karol's hand and opened up the palm further. Then she set it down and placed the crystal in his hand. The crystal changed from glowing light blue to glowing pinkish red, the same color of the lightning and the kitsune's energy. Esther and Rex stared at it intently. Then it vanished. It seemed to have been absorbed into Karol's hand. As this was happening, in the corrupted world, Karol was crawling on the ground, struggling to stand due to Tracton's might. "You fool! Did you really think that you could defeat your own master?" "You are not my master," Karol said weakly. He looked up in front of him and saw the kitsune. She was smiling at him. Karol suddenly gained revitalized strength, and he, trembling, slid back up. "Oh, really?" Tracton asked. "Then who is?" Karol, despite all his pain, smiled and said, "Remember." His eyes turned a glowing white and his pupils disappeared. Then Kitsuneko raised up her arms, her eyes glowing the same white. The black ice shards that were stuck in her hands fell out as a red energy beam shot through them and hit Karol. He then felt lifted up into the air like he was being pulled by an invisible rope. Wind started to swirl around him. Karol felt like he was gaining new energy, not like he was losing anything this time. It felt right and just, like his will fused with the kitsune's, and the two became one, working together to defeat this monster. Karol's blue fur turned a glowing red, his white stayed, His tail split into four, and he gained red marks on his head, matching Kitsuneko. The kitsune's beams in the wind ceased. Karol now had reached his ultimate form, and there was now nothing Tracton could do as he screeched like a bat in terror, remembering his initial defeat at Kitsuneko's hands. Karol now felt everything Kitsuneko did, for now she placed her energy and power into him. He felt her peace, her wisdom, and her pure love. As he flew above the ground, a new ability of his, he was unstoppable. Karol then formed an ice dagger in his hand. The ice wasn't normal, for instead of being the usual blue, it was the kitsune's signature red. He was impressed. He threw it at the terrified Tracton, and it cut a hole in his chest. Now Tracton was the one screeching and yelling in his horrible voice, trying vehemently to teleport away from Karol. But all was futile. Karol then reached his hand to the right, and behold, 5 red ice spears were formed from thin air, and Karol shot them all at Tracton. Tracton teleported above them, but he shot more ice at him, hitting his leg and creating another hole in his body. Then Karol zipped above him with the speed of sound and shot a great ice beam at Tracton, consuming half his body before he was able to teleport away. Tracton teleported away behind Karol and formed a hammer to smash Karol once again. He landed the hit, and Karol was knocked back a bit, but he was able to breathe fine. Karol then used the opportunity of the king's shade being close to him to lift his hands up and create a giant ball of mist. He threw it onto the floor and encompassed the whole room, deteriorating another quarter of Tracton's body. "Please," Tracton begged as Karol prepared to finish him off. "I can give you whatever you want if you work for me. Power, riches, infinite pleasure." Karol laughed at him as he floated to the ground with an ice dagger in his hand. "You really think you can tempt me with your junk while my will is united to the will of your greatest enemy? Keep it real." Karol grabbed the throat of what was left of the body of Tracton. "I'll finish you for good in the real world," Karol said. Then he stabbed the heart of this foul beast, and the smoke vanished downward. The whole room got much brighter. Karol looked up and saw that the black sky in the open room was gone, and instead there was a clear sky with the heat of the sun smiling down on Karol, and birds were singing cheerfully. Karol looked around for Kitsuneko to thank her once again, but she was gone. Karol floated up into the air and he flew into the sky, his vision fading as he got closer to the roof, soon turning completely white.